And we're on. Con. All praise to the Most High. Let me drop this real quick. Shalom. Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High for another Sabbath. Hold up. Let me drop this. We are live. All right, con. There we go. Shabbat Shalom. Gonna give it a few moments to let everybody join in before we start. So, Lord willing, this will be a good one. Once again, as we try to deliver good lessons every Sabbath. You know, we try to keep things very basic and plain and easy to be understood. That's the goal. So we're going to start in a few minutes. Let people join in. Should be an interesting one, man. Two things, Zeke.
Yeah, for sure.
Say it again. You sound low. David Reed, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.
Hold on. I might have to turn these joints on.
Yeah, you got to turn your audio up. Shalom, everybody. See, we got CeeLo in the building. CeeLo, Shalom, Shalom. CeeLo in here. David Reed tuned in. Khan, all praises. I know last Sabbath we didn't go live last Sabbath. So I definitely had to come and go live on this one. It was a must, you know. And I figured I can go ahead and pick up where I left off a year ago. It's been a minute since I did this one. As a matter of fact, let me see. It's in the description where I started to do the dietary law and just pretty much go into the spiritual understanding of what the Most High gave us and like why He gave us certain ones that we can and can't eat, because ultimately all these animals hold certain characteristics and certain attributes that have a spiritual meaning behind it that we're supposed to take and learn from it. So it wasn't when you read Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, it wasn't only a matter of not eating certain foods. I mean, yeah, it was to a degree in the carnal sense, but then you also had the spiritual sense. So, and I started at, I think was it last year,
Yeah.
and I haven't finished it. So I figured, why not come live, do a live, and just pretty much go into it more about, just the spiritual understanding. And this one we're gonna deal with the aquatics, meaning the animals that live in the sea. But like I said, part one and part two is in the description. If y'all want to check that one out after this one, where we talk about, of course, the swine. Obviously, got to talk about the swine. We talked about the fowls. Certain birds we can eat. We talked about the meaning of the split hoof. I can't remember if I did, but I think I did. We broke down the meaning of the split hoof and chewing the cud. But I believe we did.
Yeah,
And that was a good one. So if y'all haven't seen those, definitely check those out, part one and part two. So for this one, we're just gonna pick it back up. Like I said, dealing with the fish or the aquatics. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna go ahead and start. And Lord willing, man, it'll be a good one. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get this precept real quick. Let me see. Um, what do I want? Psalms 119 and 18.
Psalms
I'm
119.
gonna start with that real quick. So once again, Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's tuning in. Lord willing, you all having a restful Sabbath, very edifying Sabbath, and may we all, be able to come back and meet again for another Sabbath. So go ahead, Psalms 119 and verse 18.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Open down my eyes that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law.
So David asked Mosiah to open his eyes that he may see and behold wondrous things out of the law. Because the law is spiritual. We understand the law is spiritual. The laws Most High gave us is not carnal, or it's not carnal entirely. But there's a spiritual aspect to what the Most High gave us. And once the Most High get us to a point where He will open our eyes and our understanding to see it, it's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful, and there's layers to it. It gets deeper than just surface level. And that's the point of this lesson, to get a little bit more deep on what the Most High gave us concerning the dietary laws, because it's not just carnal. So it says, "Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law." So we're going to jump into the law of the clean and unclean. So from there out, let's go ahead and jump to Leviticus 11. Leviticus 11. Let's go ahead and start from verse 1 for a recap real quick. And we're going to read down to verse 9.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Salakia. Speak unto the children, I'm good. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. These are the beasts that you shall eat. That's all among the earth. Salakia. Whoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth of the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
Mm-hmm. Like I said a while ago, I broke this down, the meaning of chewing the cud and parting the hoof. Like I said, there's a spiritual reason behind that. So, like I said, you haven't seen that, go check out the part 1 and part 2 where all this is broken down. But go ahead out.
Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but is not the divideth not the hoof. Mm-hmm. He is unclean unto you. And what's that? The coney?
Coney, yeah.
The coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divide not of the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Mm-hmm. Of the flesh shall ye not eat, and the carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you.
God.
These shall ye not eat of all like it that are in the waters, who has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye not eat.
So you understand, the Most High says, whatsoever that have fins and scales. So they gotta have both. If they don't have fins and scales, we cannot deal with them. So just to recap, we understand we can't eat sharks, we can't eat dolphins, we can't eat catfish. Carnal. This is real carnal right now. Mm-hmm. So continue reading verse 10.
Verse 10, it says, and all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and all that move in the waters, and of any living things which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Right. So whatever that don't have fins and scales, they are abominations. And so we know what don't have fins and scales. You your shrimp, your lobster, your crabs, your oysters, things like that. Things like that.
Yeah.
Now we understand again why we can't eat that. Now we're dealing with the scavengers. That's what they are, scavengers. They're bottom feeders. They dwell in the bottom of the deep of the ocean, and they scavenge around for food. That's in the carnal sense, right? That's in the carnal sense. So what's the reason why spiritually we can't eat these? Because there's a reason. Remember, these type of aquatics, again talking about the shrimps, the crabs, lobsters, we're talking about them. They dwell at the bottom. They are bottom feeders. So we're going to focus mainly on that because that's the main thing that's getting at you. So why is it spiritually we can't eat that? Let's check it out, right? I'm going to go ahead and jump over here. This is from the letter of Barnabas. Check it out. Talking about these types of aquatics. So this is chapter 9 and verse 6. It says, neither, says he, shalt thou eat the lamprey, nor the polypus, nor the cuttlefish. Now, before I continue, a lamprey is a eel, a type of eel. It's in the eel family. So obviously, we understand that they don't have fins and scales. So we cannot eat eels. It sounds disgusting. Carnally, it sounds nasty. It says, nor the polypus. Now, this is going to your octopus family, like your squids, your octopus, the polyps, however you say it. But these going into your octopus family. It says, nor the cuttlefish. And the cuttlefish, if I'm not mistaken, is more those what's the type of suction fish?
They still in the same family as octopus, and they just got like a snail on the back of it. It look like a mix between a snail and octopus.
Yeah. Those types. So that's what a cuttlefish is. It says, don't eat these things, right? Let's continue. It says, thou shalt not be like such men. So now we get into the characteristics. Such men are used to converse with them, who are altogether wicked and adjudged to death. For so those fishes are alone accursed and wallow in the mire. See, now when you're thinking about it, when you consider a shrimp, a lobster, an octopus, where do they live?
At the bottom.
They live at the bottom. They live at the bottom. They live in the dirt of the ocean's floor. That's the mire it's talking about. They wallow in the mire, meaning they dwell around, or in other sense, they have pleasure in. That's their habitation. They dwell at the very, very bottom. It says, and wallow in the mire, nor swim as other fishes. That's why I said specifically we're talking about these type. Because these don't swim like other fishes. Like your trout, like your bass, and what else you have? Your salmon. They don't move like that. You ever seen how they move in the ocean? It looks real off and real unpleasant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Swim backwards.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the point. A lot of them swimming backwards. Listen, listen, you tell me the gun. That's all good. They swim backwards. So the way they moving, they move backwards. Remember, if you're not living according to the Most High, you're moving backwards. That's why Most High says what? Turn back, or backsliding daughter, because we're going backwards. Yes, sir. That's how they swim. That's how they move. They move contrary to how they suppose, or how other fishes move, meaning they're clean. So let me continue reading. It says, "For so those fishes are alone accursed and wallow in the mire, nor swim as other fishes, but tumble in the dirt at the bottom of the deep." Now, when you're doing wickedness, you're at your base level. You're wallowing and dwelling in sin. And I know in some reference it talks about pitch, dwelling in pitch, and filthiness. You're dwelling in filthiness. So it says to don't be like these type of people. We look at the world and how the world behaves and how it moves and how it acts. It's filthy. It's wallowing in filth, having pleasure in the filth. So when we look at it spiritually, don't be like these type of aquatics, these type of animals that dwell in the sea. Yeah, they're physically and carnally unclean, but look how they act, look how they move, look where they dwell at. Don't be like that. So think about it when you get to a certain level of the truth, or I don't want to say the truth. Let's just say spiritual understanding. Our forefathers, everything was the teacher. You can learn from every single thing in the world. Believe it or not, you can learn from every single thing the Most High created. The good.
Sounds familiar, don't it?
Say it again, now.
It's a lot. I mean, cut you off. I was just saying, it sounds familiar, don't it?
What you mean?
Because our people here that are indigenous to this land, you know what I'm saying? They believe the same things. The only problem is they went off by worshiping these things. You know what I'm saying? But they believe that you can learn from everything on this earth, and clearly they got conscription.
Right. It all came from the scriptures. It all points back to the Bible. Everything, literally everything in the world points back to the Bible.
Can I interject just one thing?
Yeah, can you got it?
It also say in the scriptures, I forget where, but it says, "Be like the ant, observe the ant, for how hard working it is."
Right, exactly. Exactly. Because ants are they're workers. They're not lazy. They work together as a team to build whatever they're trying to do. But then at the same time, you do have those lazy animals like a sloth. Those are lazy animals. Look at that animal. Look how it moves. Don't be like that. Yeah, we can't eat it. Of course we can't eat it, but look how it acts. We're not supposed to be like that. And that's why when you really get into it, this is a deeper understanding as to why the Most High gave us certain animals. The Most High couldn't make any animal clean. Come on now. He could make any animal clean. But he made it like this for a certain way for us to learn from. Don't be like the pig, because once the pig eats and is full, it forgets its master. But when it's hungry again, remember who his master is. As a people, don't get too full and beside yourself where you forget who your God is. Don't be like the eagle, where they take everything from other birds. They fly high above on a high peak, high level, and they look to see what they can steal and take and destroy. Don't be like that. But eat these type of birds, where they calm, domesticated, and they're what's the word? They're clean, for lack of a better word. They're clean. They're wholesome. Eat those. Don't eat these kind of scavengers, these kind of aquatics, because they are bottom feeders. They're scavengers. They dwell in the midst of darkness. Because they dwell, and when we look into it, they dwell at the bottom. The lower you get, the darker it gets. They dwell in darkness. Don't be like them, but be like this fish. So that brings to the point. Well, what about those clean fish? What do they bring that we're supposed to learn from? Why are they so clean to eat spiritually? Let's bring it up.
Hey, real quick, another thing I want to add on to that, right? Even with like for instance, the fowl and the beast, the beast and the fowl of the air, right? The ones that are unclean, you know what I'm saying? Even they dwell in darkness, even though, they're not at the bottom of the ocean or anything like that. But you gotta think, right? Like, how dark is it, you know what I'm saying, to roll up on something that's already dead and then eat it? You know what I'm saying? That's dark. That's real dark. You know what I'm saying? How dark is it to fly over something and just sit there and fly over it while it's dead? You know what I'm saying? And then make your move to go eat it, to fight another animal for it. You understand what I'm saying? Like all that stuff is dark in its sense anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's not physical darkness, but it's darkness.
Spiritually, yeah. Yeah. Same thing with the what's the other one? The other bird. I did it a while ago. What was it? What's the one that be in the desert? The one that be in the desert.
Oh, the buzzard.
The what?
No.
Yeah, the buzzard.
The buzzard, the vultures.
Yeah, the vultures, buzzards. Yeah, they're the worst.
They're the worst ones. Darkness.
Yeah,
Like I said a while ago, I did a lesson on it. Literally, there was a cheetah that caught his food, and out of nowhere, you had a swarm of vultures that's waiting to plot to take the cheetah's food.
Yeah.
They sit and lurk, and they steal.
Yeah.
Darkness.
Yo,
don't be like that. Those are predators.
See out in those planes and stuff, they be circling.
Yeah.
For they
You know? I know a lot of brothers like that in real life.
Exactly. Look, that's real talk. So when it comes to terms of spiritually being righteous and how to move, then you'll see, okay, we can't be like these type of animals. In the walk of life, you can't go around taking what's not yours. That's stealing. That's in the 10 Commandments, right? See, now we're dealing with spiritual things now. You can't do that. So let's get back, right? Dealing with the aquatics. So this is, again, for those who don't know, Philo Judaism. Good read. I'm telling you. It's a good read. You only had this, pick this up. You know, this is Jake, first century.
You say like we in the Oprah Winfrey book club or something. It's a good read.
It's a good read.
Hey, no, but let the people know, you know what I'm saying, that it's a vital, it's not just a good read, it's a vital read. You know what I mean?
Obviously.
Yeah, you know. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll pick it up.
Because, he pulls it out, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I was going to say, it's like just getting the understanding on the 80 books in particular is just a generalization of everything. Yeah. But when you start getting into like the hidden, or what they call the hidden books, but we call them the canons, these are more in-depth stories rather than being from Genesis to, you know, the end, Revelation. And everybody got a certain level. You can't understand this level or that level without getting this level of understanding first.
Yeah.
You got it.
So check it out, right? From Philo Judaism, talking about the special law 4. All right, check it out. It says on clause, we read on clause 110. It says, having laid down these definitions with respect to land animals, he proceeds to describe what aquatic creatures are clean and lawful to be used for food. He's read that Leviticus 11. It says, distinguishing them also by 2 characteristics as having fins or scales. For those which have neither one nor the other, and those which have only one of the 2, he rejects and prohibits. And he must state the cause, which is not destitute of sense and propriety, for all those creatures which are destitute of both, or even of one of the 2, are sucked down by the current, not being able to resist the force of the stream. We're getting somewhere. It says, not being able to resist the force of the stream, but those which have both these characteristics can stem the water and oppose it in front and strive against it as against an adversary. Before I continue to read, it's telling you the reason why these clean animals, or we must eat these clean animals that gotta have both fins and scales, because in the spiritual sense, they can fight against the stream. They can fight against the flow of that's knocking them back. To get to a point. It says, and struggle with invincible goodwill and courage, so that if they are pushed, they push in their turn. And if they are pursued, they turn upon their foe and pursue it in their turn, making themselves broad roads as in a pathless district, so as to have an easy passage to and fro. Now, both these things are symbols the former of a soul devoted to pleasure. Now, talking about the animals that don't have defensive scales, it says the former are the souls devoted to pleasure. So, in essence or symbolically, these type of animals represents the people that take pleasure in wickedness and unrighteousness, filling their bellies for pleasure. It says, in the latter, meaning the ones that have fins and scales, the latter of one which loves perseverance and temperance. It says, for the road which leads to pleasure is a downhill one and very easy, being rather an absorbing gulf than a path. But the path which leads to temperance is an uphill and laborious, but above all other roads advantageous, and the one leads men downward and prevent those who travel by it from retracing their steps until they have arrived at the very lowest bottom. But the other leads to heaven, making those who do not weary before they reach it immortal, if they are only able to endure its rugged and difficult ascent. That's the purpose of eating these, in the spiritual sense, of eating only fishes with fins and scales, because it's representing perseverance. It's representing striving, enduring hardships, enduring conflict. Remember, let me go back real quick. It says, for the road which leads to pleasure is downhill one and very easy. And that's why you have the majority of the world, they living in pleasure and sin, because that's easy. It's easy to live like that. You can go out right now and do whatever you want easily. But the one that leads to life, you got to fight for that thing. You got to fight, and guess what? Constantly endure. And it's in the scriptures. Let's get it real quick. Get Sirach 2:1 real quick. Real quick. You got to constantly endure and fight and strive to overcome. That's why Christ said what? He that overcometh. If it was so easy, there's nothing to overcome. If it was a straightforward path, easy sailing, there's nothing to overcome. You're not fighting for nothing because it's given to you. But this road to life, you got to fight for it. Look at the fishes. I ain't been fishing, but I've seen them before. Those who've been fishing, you know how I go. When you're catching a fish, I smell a fish, and you're struggling.
Yeah, that little thing be hard, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
That little thing be hard. Right? You fighting that toy. Them things are resistant. Yo, they resilient.
That's a small fish. Some small fish be giving some kickback. You like that? Hold up.
Listen, I didn't express it, but I seen it. Them things are resilient. Yeah. They don't go down easy. They're gonna fight.
Yo, I can tell you from experience that them little joints is hard, bro. Like I'm talking about, like a fish like this will give you the biggest resistance.
But check it out.
That's snatch that pole.
Say it again.
So you got snatch that pole.
Yeah, but look how hard they fight though. Look how hard they fight for their life. That's exactly how it's supposed to be in this truth. You gotta fight for real. You gotta Sirach 2:1.
All right, I got you. All right, the Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly constantly endure.
Constantly,
not hate in time of trouble."
Right, that's it. That's what I want the water. So it says, "My son, if thou comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Here's the point: set thy heart aright and constantly endure. That's what these fishes do. They endure hardships. They endure against the current. As a matter of fact, just for a visual, because y'all gotta see this. In case y'all didn't know, fish with the fins and scales, they could swim against the current.
Hey, salmon is a prime example.
Salmon, yeah. Perfect example. Hold
They
on,
swim
let me see if I can pull it
upstream.
real quick. I'm gonna see if I can pull it. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. My laptop is old and it goes slow, so Salakia. Salakia, excuse me. All right, check it out. Right, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen real quick. I gotta see this for a visual. Remember, we can learn from everything the Most High created. Everything should be our teacher. Everything. To learn from and use to further advance our walk, I should say. I don't mean just learn whatever and just take no. I mean to help us understand better.
Yeah. Y'all watch Animal Planet, bro. It's I'm pretty sure it's a video you about to pull up that's like going right into that joint. But when they swim upstream, they even got obstacles when they get up the stream. They still gotta watch out for bears, prey, and all of that.
Oh,
they
hey,
got,
that's a good point. That's a good point. See, they got to watch for the bears and everything. Check this out real quick.
All that.
Look at this. So you can see the streams going against him. He's swimming up that mud. Check this out. They going up that mud. Look at that. You know how hard it is to swim against the current? Look at that. Let me fast forward a little bit. Look at this joint. Look at that. He going up that joint. Look at that.
Doing this thing. I forgot how ugly them joints is.
Right.
Hey, but them joints still good.
Hey, that joint look unlawful or something.
Right.
That joint look like crazy. Like, oh no, you can't eat that.
Now check this out, right? You can tell it wasn't even really trying like that. They were just chilling, just going up, just chilling. Now imagine it was like really, really trying to get up that thing.
Bro,
they would have did that.
Bro, I thought she was gonna bring up another one. So, like I say, like you actually watch like nature, bro. It's whole waterfalls. Talking about 10 feet waterfalls. The salmon can swim up them joints.
Yep, jump straight up them joints.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Let's try to find that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. You talking about like the waterfalls, right?
In the midst of air that they swimming up in a bit of water that they're going up and still jump over them joints.
Let me see if I can find that. I know you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
The salmon can jump out the water. They could jump up the. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all, because it's important to get the visuals. We gotta get the visuals so we can understand. But read Surah 2 and 1 again. Verse 1 and 2 again.
Verse 1 and 2. For sure. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart upright and consistently endure. Constantly endure. And make not haste in time of trouble.
Right. You got to constantly endure. Is this it right here? Let me see. No, this ain't it. This is not it. I don't know what this is. I don't know. This is not it. But y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. Sure. We had to look at the fish, look at the clean fish, and do exactly what they're doing. Meaning as far as how they move. You gotta persevere. Go to 2 Timothy 2.
2 Timothy 2.
Because that's the road that's gonna lead you to life, to the kingdom. You gotta strive. You gotta strive. 2 Timothy 2, start on verse 1 and read on to verse 4.
It says, thou therefore, my son, be strong in grace, and the grace that is in Jesus Christ. I mean, Hamashiach Yahawashi. And the things that thou hast heard of me among my witnesses, the same commit that thou faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. That therefore endure hardness as a good soldier in Hamashiach Yahawashi.
Read that verse again up. Verse 3.
That thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahawashi.
So it says, thou therefore endure hardness. Now imagine if you was a fish in that river. That's part of enduring the hardness. It's not easy going against the current, but as us being the faith, we got to endure the hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach. Read verse 4.
No man that whereof what's that? Enlightening? He said what?
No entangle man that entangle himself.
Entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier.
And that's what those bottom feeders do. They entangle themselves with the pleasure of this life. And that's why they are the bottom feeders. They're not going to rise up or ascend up to the kingdom, but they're going to go down into the pit. They're going to go down into the fire because that's where their life is headed. They're not moving how the salmon is moving. They're not moving how the trout is moving. They're not fighting against nothing. They're bottom feeders, belong at the bottom, wallowing in the mire. That's what they do. And the same thing with every wicked person out here. So it says, for thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of a Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen to be a soldier. And that's what Christ said. Strive to enter in a straight gate. You're not just going to just walk in that thing. You gotta strive. In Luke 13. You gotta strive. You're not ready to just walk in that thing. Get it real quick in Luke 13:24. Remember, we dealing with the spiritual aspect of these fishes. We know the carnal. If it ain't got fin and scales, don't eat it. Only fin and scales. But now we're dealing with the spiritual aspect. This is why, spiritually, we're supposed to consume this, meaning consume these characteristics. Eat of these of this nature. Eat of this being. Be like that. Remember, eating don't always mean to physically eat. It means to learn, to take in. See what I'm saying? So we got to eat of that spiritually. Don't eat of the unclean. Meaning don't partake in the ways of the wicked. Go ahead.
For sure. Luke chapter 13, verse 24, it says, strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
Man, read that verse again, Knock. That's heavy.
It says, strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
The reason why it's so heavy, because Christ said that many are going to seek to enter in. Meaning you're going to have people that want to go through those gates, but they won't be able to. Why? Because they're not striving. And when you walk in that narrow, straight path, you can fall off it. Imagine watching that video. Imagine that salmon that's trying to swim upstream. Imagine if you get tired and weary and get comfortable or get lukewarm, he's going to sail right back. He's going to start going backwards. He's going to go right back. That fish, those salmon, they got to constantly endure that current. That current not stopping.
Bro, you got to think with that how heavy that waterfall is. Exactly. Some of them stop there and die.
Yeah.
That's essential.
Yeah. I couldn't find it, but them fish can hop out the waterfall.
Yes, sir.
How you hopping out the waterfall? Meaning
So you gotta be.
up, huh?
No, so I was about to say you gotta be strong as on the water. Cause you gotta think like you hopping out of. It's not like you hopping from a foundation. You hopping out of water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like
Right.
you on the ground and you bend down and you get that little leap and you know what I'm saying? They hopping straight out of the water 10 feet, easy, bump. Nothing. It's done. You know what I'm saying?
That's strong. If that's not strength, I don't know what is. That takes some serious strength.
No legs, no arms. So they got fins and body. So that's all muscle. You
it's
know
all muscle.
Saying?
Right. So that's the same way with the world. The world is that waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
And if we ain't got the strength as a salmon, you getting washed away. You gotta have that strength and to endure that. That thing is that's strong. Next time y'all go to a river, just watch the fish. Like, damn, these joints are really. You can learn from that. I gotta be like that. I gotta be like that in this walk. I can't keep getting washed away with the current. No, I gotta make it. I gotta get up this river. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Cause that's the only way we gonna make it. Where we at? Oh, so yeah. It says strive, Luke 13:24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate. The straight gate means hard. In case you didn't know, that word straight is not the straight path. It means a hard gate. It's tough. It's difficult. Strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able to. Now, an octopus can't do that. An octopus, a shrimp, a lobster cannot do what that salmon can do. Ain't no way. They cannot do it. Nope. They're going to fail every time. Because they don't have the equipment or the things equipped to or the things equipped to enable them to do that. Meaning they don't have the spirit. The characteristic symbolically is the spirit to do that. The will to do that. They don't have that. It's the same thing with people in the world. They don't have the spirit to walk this path. They're not equipped to. So they're not going to endure any hardships. They're not going to persevere in the tribulations that current. No, they're not doing that. They ain't doing that. So where we at? Go to Hebrews 10:32, right?
Hebrews.
So next time we read about those fins and scales, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. These fish are like that because they can endure the hardships. Well, they was made like that to endure the hardships. And we supposed to eat of that. Hebrews 10, 32.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 32. But call to remembrance for the former days in which after ye were illuminated. That's illuminated, right?
Yeah.
Illuminated, ye endured great fight of affliction.
Come. You endure a great fight of affliction. Because that's going to happen in this walk. That's going to happen. If anybody expecting the walk to be easy and smooth sailing, no sir. No sir, it won't. You're going to be that salmon in that river, in that stream. Or you're going to be the octopus or the crab and just sink to the bottom and dwell in the filth.
Man, you must understand, bro. It's like everything that the Most High say to do, this is what they promote in the world. That it's expensive to eat lobster, crab, shrimp, all contrary to what they tell you to, eat in the Bible. Me, I used to be a foodie. I'm a cook too. I used to eat all that. But ever since I stopped eating that, which would be some years now, that stuff can have a long-term effect on you if you don't change it around quickly, because those are the things that do eat the bottom. Those are the scavengers. Ever since I started eating clean foods, I felt more better in my diet and everything else. On top of that, with the spiritual aspect, I'm able to endure a lot more too.
But
they eat so much shrimp, they got iodine poison.
say it again up.
Say they eat so much shrimp, they got iodine poison.
That's ridiculous.
Uh,
But look, that's why you have that old saying, you are what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, that's true. When you look at it spiritually, that's true. You are what you eat. If you eat filth and junk, you're going to be filth and junk.
Mm-hmm.
If you eat clean and healthy, you're going to be clean and healthy.
Yes, sir.
Even spiritually. If you're constantly eating that, you're going to take on that. You are what you eat.
Mm.
These laws are spiritual, man. I'm telling you, these laws are spiritual. These laws are spiritual. These are not just carnal things we're reading. Oh yeah, don't eat that because it's not clean. Most I said it's the reason why he's saying that. Remember, these commandments are laws for a reason. It's not just commandments he gave us. And that's why he says when you begin to keep these things, it's going to be your wisdom, your understanding, because now you're going to understand why to a deeper level as to why the laws are where they are and why we gotta live where we live. It's deeper than just carnal stuff. There's wisdom in this. That's why we read first in Psalms 119 to show me wondrous thing out of your law. You know how much understanding you get just from understanding this?
For sure. Definitely.
So let's jump to 1 Timothy 6 and 12. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 12.
It's Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. All right. First
Now
Timothy,
we can say real quick, 'cause I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
We can say, like, you look at sharks and certain ones that don't have the scales. Look at the nature of a shark. What are they? They predators,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sharks are predators. So when you look at a
They're
shark, say it again.
Time. They like the pig whole time. They scavengers also. They predators and scavengers.
Right, and guess what? They also like blood.
Mm-hmm.
They like blood.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the nature of a shark. Yeah, that's unclean. Don't partake of that. Don't eat of that. Don't be like that shark. No, that's unclean, physically and spiritually. But you gotta opt.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12 says, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on to eternal life, whereunto thou hast also called and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses.
Read that first part again.
Fight the good fight of faith and lay hold unto eternal life.
God says, fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life. That's why scriptures say, through much tribulation shall we enter the kingdom of heaven. Because they understood it's not just given to you. I mean, it's given to us, but you got to fight for it. You got to work for it. And you got to endure some stuff. You got to endure some hardships. You got to endure tribulations. And you got to endure the struggles. A lot of people think when you come in or when you begin to walk this path that it's supposed to be easy. No, it's straight.
One of the hardest things you ever do in life.
Yeah, and if you ain't got those spins and scales, if you're not equipped with that, man,
so
that current gonna take you.
Thanks.
A shark couldn't do that. You ever seen a shark swim against the current? Heck no, I ain't never see that. I never see a dolphin swim against the current. I seen them little fishes, them little things. I seen them do it. You know what I'm saying? No, a shark can't do that. Dolphin can't do that. Say it again, out.
I said, no, I just said that's a fact. That's real. They just go with the flow. And when they run up on something, then they got you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And look, that's another thing too. Listen, I'm glad you said that. Because that's a lot of people's mindset. Oh, I just go with the flow.
Opportunists.
Right. Do you know where that flow going? Do you know where that flow leading you? Going with the flow is dangerous. And that's why you got people like us who go against the flow. The world going to hate it. It's going to be harder because we're going against the flow. We're going against the grain.
Yeah.
Any righteous man, I should say, or woman, you're going against the flow. Hey, you bound to have problems. Because going with the flow is easy. It take you whatever. But ultimately, it's taking you to that bottom, to that pit, spiritually. It's taking you to that bottom. It's taking you to the deep, the ocean, where the majority of people are going to be at. Talking about lake of fire.
Yes, sir.
Where we at? Let's go to Matthew 24. I ain't got much left. But just to show y'all why it's important, or the spiritual understanding of these fishes with fins and scales, why it's so important to only eat of these type of animals, and spiritually what it means of these type of animals. Matthew 24 and 13. Matter of fact, before you get that, go to 1 Corinthians 9. Before you get that. 24.
So 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 9, 24. All the way through.
Says, know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but once receive the prize, so run that ye may obtain. And every man that strive for the mastery is, what's that?
Temperate, yeah.
Yeah, temperate in all things. Now that they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
So we running to obtain the incorruptible crown. We in the kingdom of heaven. Now, when you running, I don't know how many of y'all did track, but when you running and your body start getting tired and your body telling you to slow down and you want to slow down, you got to keep pushing through that thing. You got to push. You got to push when your body is telling you, yo, you got to stop right now. You got to keep going. You got to push through it. I'm not gonna lie. When I ran track, that was number one I heard. That's the number one word I heard was push. Push, 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 push. Because the world and your own thoughts and Satan gonna want to tell you, no, stop. No, give in, stop. Don't keep going. Take a break, rest. No, that's when you gotta really kick it in the high gear and you gotta keep pushing. That's the only way you're gonna obtain that crown. It's a marathon. Go ahead, Op.
Or he tell you stuff like, yeah, you already tripped. You might as well stop now. You tripped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You tripped. You might as well stop. You behind everybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta keep pushing. So it says, what did it say? Know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. It says, and every man that is striving for the masteries is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain the corruptible crown, but we in the corruptible crown. So we know why we run. Keep going out, verse 26.
I therefore so run, not as uncertainly.
Exactly.
So,
Now I'm saying exactly. Keep going.
Not as uncertainly, so fight I. Not as one that breathes the air, but
beat of the air.
Breathe the air, but I keep under my body and bring into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
And that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. Remember, when you fighting and you trying to get to the kingdom, you're really fighting yourself. Yeah, you fighting the world, but mostly you fighting yourself. Remember, when for those who ran track, you running, you're trying to win, but you start getting tired, your muscles getting weaker, they locking up, you out of breath. your own self is telling you to stop. But you gotta fight against that.
Yeah.
You gotta be like that fish in the river going against the current. The world gonna try to slow you down and knock you down and pull and drag you down. Literally, it's gonna try to drag you down. Literally. But you gotta fight against that. You fight yourself, you fight the world and yourself.
God.
So where we at? Let's jump to I got a few more. Let's go ahead and jump to James 1 and 12.
Oh, James 1 and 12. God. James 1 and 12. God. All right. This is James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth in temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him.
Right. So it says, when you endure that temptation, if you endure that, you will see the crown of life. Wanting to stop is a form of temptation. When you talk about temptation, it's not always talking about lust or always about sexual things, or it's not always about drugs. No, that's not always temptation. Temptation don't have to be that. Temptation can simply mean, I want to stop. That's a temptation. I'm out of breath. I don't got no more gas in me. I need a break. And people, when those that take a break, they will never get back into it. They will never pick it back up. In most cases, most cases, those that take a break, take a breather, a 5 minute, they ain't getting back up.
Sure, like I said, that's like working out.
Yeah, it's like working out.
Yep, God.
Yeah, right. You want your last set, you got 2 more reps, and you feel you feel it locking up on you, but you gotta keep pushing. Your man's like, keep going, push. You feel it, you right there. Imagine if you give out, that weight coming right back on you. It's gonna crush you.
Bruh.
But once you get it up, you good. You accomplished it. You did it. You made it. It's like working out. Yeah. Everything your body, your mind saying, stop right now. No more. That's enough. You gotta push past that. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the fish though. You gotta be like them.
Yeah.
You gotta be like them. They can they can fight against that. They strong. Them fish are strong. So where we at? Oh, that's 1 Corinthians 9. Jump to Matthew 24 and 13.
Matthew 24 and 13. Alright.
That thing get real, man. Hey, listen, next time I go to the gym, on my last set, I'm thinking about them fishes. Nah, I'm gonna push the I'm thinking about them fishes. They want to quit. Well, I'm gonna quit. They ain't quitting. I ain't gonna quit. For the fish, for the salmon, you hear me? Oh yeah, Matthew 24, 13.
All right, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. Says, but he that shall
and go home and eat some right afterwards. My bad. You got it.
Good. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Come on. Christ saying it for a reason, man. Christ is saying that for a reason. He that endures until the end, the same shall be saved. Why is he talking about enduring if it's so easy? Why is he talking about enduring if it's not going to be some kind of what's the word? Some kind of pushback, some kind of adversary, some kind of opposition. Why is he saying that?
Because it's a consistent fight every day.
Yeah, that opposition is there. Come on. So I'm gonna go back to this though, because this is powerful. I'm gonna go back to it in Judaism, just to recap. So it says, now both these things are symbols. The former of a soul devoted to pleasure, meaning the crabs, the shrimp, the octopuses, the lampreys. The former of a soul devoted to pleasure, and the latter, your salmon, your trout, your bass, the latter of one which loves perseverance and temperance. For the road which leads to pleasure is a downhill one and very easy, being rather an absorbing gulf than a path. But the path which leads to temperance is an uphill and laborious, but above all other roads, advantageous. And the one leads men downwards and prevents those who travel by it from retracing their steps until they have arrived at the very lowest bottom, that lake of fire. But the other leads to heaven, making those who do not weary before they reached it immortal, if they are able to endure its rugged and difficult ascent. He that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. You gotta endure to the end. You have to. You gotta put on the nature of the salmon and fight and persevere against the current. You gotta strive for the truth unto death. You gotta fight. Strive means fight. You got to. Last one, Ephesians 6:10. Last one.
Ephesians.
Look at Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10.
All right. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Said, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Read again.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Right. Be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong to fight, to strive, and to endure. Only the weak are gonna fall into the pleasure of life. Because it's easy. But the one to life is a hard one. So you gotta be strong in the Lord and you gotta fight and constantly endure. Set your heart right and constantly endure. Because that's the only way we're gonna make it into them gates. Put on the nature, eat of the fish, eat of the clean fish. So that's all I got. That's all I got, family. You know, dealing with the spiritual understanding of the clean and unclean animals in the seas. So this is why spiritually we eat the fish with the fins and scales.
Mm-hmm.
You understand
the concept? You breaking up.
Why we eat them. Say it again, out.
I was saying, say it again because you was breaking up, or is that just me?
No, I can hear.
All praises.
Oh, praises.
So that's all I got. Leviticus 11. We ain't dealing with the clean fishes. Remember, it's about perseverance and striving and enduring. So that's spiritual understanding. So that's all I got. If anybody else got something, go ahead and close it out.
Yeah. I got one thing. I just want Ezekiel to go ahead and spit that gum out. He making it like the nastiest gum in the world right now. That gum look disgusting right now, the way you chewing it.
Oh man.
I'm messing with you.
Everybody good. All praise to the Most High, family. Lord willing, this was edifying. I hope you all learned, you understood, it made sense, and Lord willing, this lesson will help you, further advance your walk. So that's all I got. Shabbat shalom. Lord willing, everybody continue to have a blessed Sabbath. Keep enduring to the end, and Lord willing, we all make it to the kingdom. So Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.